Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good weekend and welcome back to Cyberpunk 2077. So, having progressed down the main quest line to the point where we're ready to trigger the endgame, I figured, what the hell, there's no rush, and there's still a massive chunk of content that has not yet been explored. And so today, and for the foreseeable future, before we rush to get the game completed, I'm going to be exploring a lot of the other stuff that you could potentially miss if you just rush to get the game finished as quickly as possible. Starting with Judy Alvarez, a very popular character for obvious reasons. Technically, the story of Judy Alvarez began with the story of Evelyn Parker, Judy's girlfriend. But with Evelyn's suicide earlier on in the story, which was pretty much as a direct result of, well, she basically just tried to screw absolutely everybody she ever struck a deal with, starting with the Voodoo Boys, then Yorinobu Arasaka, Dexter DeShawn, and I'm pretty sure if given half the chance, me too. None of that matters to Judy, of course. Judy loved her, now she's dead, and having had some time to get over her grief, Judy's going to do something about it.
Behind the veil is the machine. It steals your soul.
I'm familiar with the story. Things did not go that smoothly.
I didn't say they did. Didn't say they would. But Evie thought Clouds would be safe. You saw how far that got her. How she ended. V. I can't stand by and let things go on like this.
Got the Mox to agree to take over Clouds.
No, I'm trying to get you. Know someone at Clouds who'll take our side. Will you help?
Fine. Got me on board.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so, what's the plan?
First up, we gotta talk to Maiko Maeda. If she's not with us, might as well throw our hands up in the air.
You sure Maiko's gonna want to join forces?
If I was sure, I'd be on the hollow to her and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Let me rephrase. Is there any chance she'll slap us around and shove us out her mega tower window?
Of course, sure.
Guess I can work with that. When are we doing this?
Early morning, Clouds will be closed. Hardly a soul lurking at that time.
How early?
Before 8, I'll be by the entrance. No, scratch that. The balcony above Clouds. We'll sneak in. No one needs to know we're there.
On the balcony. Got it.
This Maiko person that Judy insists we need to get on our side before we make any move on Clouds is basically the madam of the place. She runs the Clouds dollhouse on a day-to-day business for her bosses in the Tiger Claw gang. She's a bit of a stone-cold bitch, and she certainly has no love whatsoever for Judy Alvarez. But she definitely has an extremely practical head on her shoulders. Which means there is absolutely no chance that we're ever going to get Maiko on our side unless we can offer her something better than the current deal that she has with the Tiger's Claw gang. So initially, Maiko turns us down flat. But as well as being a lot more practical than Judy, Maiko also thinks a lot further ahead.
Hey V, come on in. Pizza's getting cold.
You may remember Tom as being one of the dolls that works at Clouds and Evelyn's best friend there.
We're in the kitchen.
You made it. Good. Grab a seat. This is Roxanne. She's worked at Clouds longer than any of us.
Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
When I heard what you pulled at Clouds, shit, I so regretted I was off that day.
Just eat the free pizza and then we're out of here, okay?
Were you and Evelyn close?
Yeah, blew up in her face when she showed up back at Clouds. She was supposed to be long gone, the one who got away. But deep in my heart, I was glad to see her back. Feel like such a gunk now.
How are you?
okay, I guess, but, you know, sad as hell.
And here's Maiko.
You'll never get rid of the stench of the corpse. You drop a lot of them, don't you? What's your secret?
Suddenly comes naturally to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, odd, given how much work I gotta put into it. By the way, Forrest is doing fine.
Forrest is the guy who sold Evelyn to the scouts.
Don't intend to end him. Not now, not never.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I advise you to remember that.
Done saying hello to each other? Revolution won't plan itself.
Have I mentioned what a stone-cold bitch Maiko is?
I modified the behavioral chip. It can equip any doll with a motor reflex system. In other words, make the doll move and fight like a Preem-tier solo.
Fascinating, isn't it? What one can learn while tuning fake orgasms for the Moxes.
Mind stepping outside? Can't smoke in here.
You'll air it out later.
Have I mentioned what a stone-cold bitch Maiko is?
Fine, I'll sit by the window.
The body will react as if executing a well-trained series of movements. Already tested it out on Tom. Chip's impulses supplant any natural reflexes, so it'll make users feel like they're experiencing cyberpsychosis.
But it's basically the same as when we activate ourselves for a client.
All right. Gotta see it to believe it.
Finally, someone said it.
Tom? Pulled that sequence from a kung fu training virtue.
You're lucky you made it out alive, you son of a bitch! Mark my words, Night City. CDQ won't let anyone hurt you. Tune in again tomorrow for another night after night.
Gotta admit, not bad.
Yeah, for the Market Square in Kabuki. Before we start talking serious biz, gonna need to see serious action.
You just saw him.
I saw a bar trick. I want to see a fight. Got an expert in causing bodily harm among us. I want to see how Tommy handles him.
V? Just don't mess up my digs, okay? I like it here.
Well, like I said, Maiko's a bitch, but she's not stupid. If she's going to gamble her future on a successful
It's
Mox
on now.
takeover of Clouds, she's going to want to see some evidence that it might actually work.
What the?
You there? Can you hear me?
Look at me go! You see that?
In the shade of an apple tree is a
Woo!
flawless second
Gotta do some
Nice
cardio.
work, Judy.
and is
Outdid yourself.
a masterpiece
If you were to sell that,
literature.
you'd be the richest Judy in the NUSA.
For tuning in to
Please.
N54 News.
Plenty of killing machines in the world. I don't want to turn more people into them. After this, chips are getting micro-nuked. V?
Happy now?
I'm rarely happy, but that was proof enough. Let's get to it then. You've got an elite force of 3 muscleheads and a techie. What now?
Guards and tiger claws in and around will overpower, take down, disarm, escort them out. Clouds will be ours. Bosses, we'll give an ultimatum. A cut of the proceeds in exchange for never showing their faces at the club again. And having no say in how the club's managed.
That's what I thought. A half-baked, insane plan. You can't see more than an inch ahead of you. Taking out the security there won't solve anything. Claws will just send more. Hiromi Sato's the man you gotta get to.
Hiromi Sato. Who's that?
Cloud's real boss. He rarely shows, but you can't so much as sneeze without him finding out. Claws trust him, respect his opinion. He is one of them. We can try to convince him, but it's doubtful. We stand a better chance by injecting him with a dose of fear.
Where do we find this Hiromi?
At his apartment, H8 Mega Tower, topmost floor. It's a penthouse, almost never steps outside its glass walls. But I'll figure out a way to get us inside.
Desire, he'll do anything to scratch every itch.
Wouldn't it be better to ambush him in the street, like while he's chomping on a scop dog or taking a piss in the back alley? Why even try breaking into a penthouse? He's probably crawling with guards.
Hiromi don't go anywhere without security. So 1, makes no difference. 2, this is only a show of force demonstrating what we are capable of. Which is a lot more than street thuggery.
So how about it, V, Tom, Roxy? Made up your minds?
I need to think about it. Never wasted anyone before, you know.
I'm with it all the way.
V?
Don't tell me you're seriously considering this.
Count me in, Judy. I already said I'd help, didn't I?
Thanks, V.
Save the gratitude for later, please. I'll set up the meet with Hiromi and let you know. I need a couple days. Have fun. Toodaloo.
Maiko, hold up. Give us a lift.
Only if you don't talk to me. I feel a migraine coming on.
Following a high magnitude earthquake.
Shit.
Thanks to their
I'm scared, V.
hibernation implants, the miners were
Speaking of gratitude, stuff I'm asking you to do, well, usually comes with a price tag, I know. You want to help, I get that. But I'm more than happy to pay your fee in full. Feels like it's only right.
All right. Thanks. Nice of you to think of that.
Don't mention it. V, everything okay? V, you don't look so hot.
Okay. Okay, I'm better. Fine.
What the hell, V? You, like, sick?
Remember the heist Evelyn hired us for? The relic I was gonna collect.
Couldn't forget that in a million years.
That biochip. Well, long story short, it had Johnny Silverhand's mind on it. An engram of it that's overriding my mind.
You being serious?
Truly wish I wasn't.
Fuck. Anything at all you can do?
One can hope.
It's late. You're tired. You can crash on my couch if you want.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Don't worry about it. Make yourself at home.
If I thought there was even the slightest possibility that I could get into Judy's knickers, because she is a romance option, I would have told her that I'd do it for free. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen when you're playing a male character, because Judy plays for the other team. However, you're going to be seeing this story told from the perspective of multiple different characters, because I've played through multiple times and not all of them were on a male character. So, once again, we need to wait a couple of days in order for Judy, who's just sent me a text, and she's left me some pizza, I think, or something. A ham and cheese and some coffee. We're going to need to wait a couple of days for Judy and Maiko to put the plan together, and once they're ready, they'll be in touch.
Hey, V! You ready?
You nervous, Tom?
How'd you know?
First time you've done anything like this. Just imagine you're doing what a doll does, just different program. You're great at that. So glad you came.
Mulled it over in my head. Y'all were right. Sometimes the only rational course of action is a kick in the nuts and a bullet between the eyes.
Any idea how I can get to Hiromi?
Pulled the blueprint, got it all figured out. Okay, not all, but we're good on the penthouse. Best bet's to access it from the service level. Got a way in from there.
And Maiko? Where's she?
Meeting with Hiromi to avoid raising any suspicions.
She'll make him stay put until we're in.
Remember, let the behavioral chip do what it wants. You got no time to deliberate, weigh decisions. Just follow your instincts. Freeze, tense up for even a second could cost you your life. Got it? All right, we going in?
Let's do this. You two head in right after us. Go straight to Clouds.
About fucking time.
Stay sharp. Gang goons might be lurking.
In a city tingling with desire.
Got a jack into the panel on the other side. Can you take him out?
Yeah, I think I can probably manage that. How many targets are we talking? 2 over there. Hold still. For Daddy. 1 over there. 1 more. Where'd they go? Oh, there they are. Oh my god. God, this pistol is silenced.
Look at us now.
Look, I never claimed to be any good at this. Right. Anyway, job done, eventually.
What then? Everyone all in position?
Tom and Roxy should already be at Clouds. We go on Maiko's signal. They'll mop up security, you deal with Hiromi. But first, you gotta get into the penthouse.
You gonna breach security? Get me in the penthouse?
Thought I could do it, but... sorry, it's not gonna happen. Gotta manage on your own.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, on my way.
Elevator's on the other side. Be safe.
Gotta be honest, on my second playthrough, with a female V, playing as a netrunner, this couldn't have been any easier.
How's the sitch?
We're inside at Clouds.
Who's taking which floor?
I'll take the lower level. Tom will head upstairs.
We're all set.
Playing the game with a netrunner build, pretty much all you need to do is get eyes on one of the bad guys, hit them with a contagion quick hack, and then keep your head down and just wait for them all to fall over. Here on my first playthrough, I was very heavily influenced by the Spiffing Brits video on just how absurdly overpowered a pistol build could be.
Alright, on the roof.
Jump down onto the balcony. Careful though, okay?
And credit where credit's due. In this case, as in most, the Spiffing Brit was absolutely correct. You can get some absurdly ridiculous damage numbers by headshotting people with a pistol with the correct skill build. It does, however, assume that you can aim, and you're at least moderately competent when it comes to playing first-person shooters. And as you can quite plainly see, I'm not. Anyway, Tom and Roxy, ouch, that hurt.
I don't want any fucking dinner.
Courtesy of the combat protocols that have been uploaded into their doll chips,
Love you too.
are busy taking care. That, you see that? 30,000 damage. Yeah. They're busy taking care of the hired muscle in the club itself, a couple of floors below. Meanwhile, up here in the penthouse suite, it's up to me to ensure
Not if I got
that
anything to
none of
say about
Hiromi's
it.
hired muscle interferes when we have our little chat. Guards taken care of. It's time Hiromi and I had an interview without coffee. Gonna take all the loot first, of course. At least I think all the guards have been taken care of. All the guards that I've seen have been taken care of. I'm no longer in combat, but I'm still in a hostile area. Yeah, I think we're good.
Same here.
Grab their stuff.
Go to the surveillance cam in front of the security room.
And let's do this.
Here, finally. I was beginning to think you wouldn't make it.
Right, wrong. Chicks will give you shit no matter what you do. This one's a real charmer, too.
Could have called off the guards, you know. Would have been quicker, simpler.
I don't have that kind of authority. Yet.
Why are there 3 guys? What's she playing
That's our
at?
target. Hiromi Sato.
Who are the other 2?
Target audience of today's presentation. Hiromi answers to them directly. Now they're gonna watch him die in a pool of his own piss.
This is not what we agreed.
Look at me. See this? This is a look of unfucking surprise on
I
my
know
face.
the clause. To them, power is a question of strength, ruthlessness. This is the only way.
Maiko!
I'm about to jack him out. They will not be chirpy after the rude awakening. One show ends, another begins. Just as good and unforgettable. Understand?
Maiko, our plan made no allowance for witnesses.
A show of force, we said. And any show requires an audience. I know how this needs to play out, better than anyone. You gotta trust me. I thought this through, many times.
Meaning you want to replace Hiromi.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that means joining the Tiger Claws.
How the fuck else do you expect me to protect Clouds from other gangs?
Don't like this one bit.
Too late for second thoughts. Tom and Roxy've done their part. Your little doll revolution is underway. Either we consolidate and win it all, or let everything go to waste.
Do you think?
Yep, Maiko's trying to fuck us.
Well, she is no Parker. Wait. What's going on? Who is this?
Living proof that Hiromi Sato's time is up. This merc has already disturbed the clientele at Clouds once. And now he's invaded Mr. Sato's private residence. As if that were not enough, this is where Hiromi's sheer incompetence has led all of us to.
What the hell?
I have long looked upon Hiromi Sato's foolish, inept endeavors. But this? I think it's obvious he has outlived his usefulness.
V, what the fuck's she doing?
Clouds needs new management.
Hold on, Maiko. I think you're getting carried away.
I see not all has been agreed.
V, you gotta take them down.
Dolls of
That's why we're
Clouds are
here.
declaring their independence. Club will be run by them, and only them.
V, let me do the talking.
Tiger Claws will get a cut of the revenue, but they'll have no say in how the club is run.
Stop this right now.
I'll get everything under control.
You cannot even control your own mercenary. Hiromi will answer for his incompetence later. Whereas you will answer for your insolence now.
I'll fuck you myself!
V, what the hell were you thinking? Have you any idea what's gonna happen now?
Well, you're probably going to get shot. What was I thinking? What was she thinking? I'm not the one who tried to fuck everybody who put their asses on the line halfway through the plan just so she could put herself in charge of the club. Oh, that's a very nice sword. I think I'll take it. And I think it's about time that we deal with Maiko.
Matter of fact, I do. Either you walk away and never come back to Clouds, or I end you here and now.
I see you got everything planned out, but you forgot just one thing. I've also got a doll chip.
Yeah, but I've got a gun.
Alright, V, get out of there. Exit's on the lower level of the apartment. Then find the elevator.
The thing is, Maiko was a stone cold bitch. She was a deeply unlikable person. And yes, she did just try to fuck us all over in order to advance her own agenda.
Tom and Roxy are outside and safe. They weren't followed.
But just because she was unarguably in need of a bullet, that doesn't necessarily mean she was wrong.
Get down to street level, waiting by the food stalls.
Think about it for a minute. Just how successful do you think the original plan would really have been?
You killed her?
Well, she was trying to kill me.
Oh my fucking god. You killed her.
Well, she did just try to kill me and screw everybody else, so yeah, I killed her.
Wouldn't have happened if she hadn't come at me. Wasn't my fault.
Sorry, but I don't buy that. Could have found another way.
I don't really care if you buy it or not, Judy, because I ain't fucking selling
Maiko
anything.
knew what she was starting, what she was doing. She knew it could all come crashing down.
Thought she was untouchable all her life.
Well, it's not my fault she was wrong.
I gotta process all this in peace. Alone. Be seeing you, V.
See ya, Judy.
Yeah, I'm the one who shot Maiko, but what killed Maiko was a lack of trust. Maiko's plan may very well have been the best thing for everyone involved. But if we're being completely honest here, realistically looking at Judy's plan, which was to initiate a bloodless takeover of the Cloud's dollhouse, and then ask the gang very nicely to not come back, and then hope that the Mocks, with whom Judy had not discussed the plan, and who aren't really a gang because, well, they basically look after the interests of exactly one nightclub in the whole of Night City, and Judy was trusting the Mocks to extend protection to cover the dolls at Clouds, which would then put the Mocks in the firing line of the Tiger's Claws, who are very much a gang in Night City. That chance, realistically, probably didn't have much in the way of any kind of chance of long-term success. Maiko's plan, on the other hand, to simply replace the current Tiger's Claw boss at Clouds with herself, probably did stand an excellent chance of long-term success. What the future would have been like for the dolls at Clouds under Maiko's rule is something that's wide open to interpretation. We will never know. Because rather than simply saying, Judy, your plan sucks, sorry, but it does. Here's how things need to go if you want any chance of this thing succeeding longer than the first day. And then everyone could have talked about it and probably agreed that it did make more sense than the plan that Judy put together on the back of a napkin. But Maiko's mind doesn't work like that. Maiko is deceitful and manipulative, and so she expects deceit and manipulation from everybody around her. So rather than putting it on the table for discussion, she just ambushed us with it in the middle of the job. And that's what got her killed. And that's unfortunate, not because Maiko's dead, but because it means we're left with Judy's plan, which was put together on the back of a napkin.
Actually, thought I'd never hear from you again after the Maiko sitch.
Rewatch the scroll from that day. You had no choice. But I ain't calling to rehash old wounds. Got a favor to ask.
Ask away. It's never boring with you.
Interesting people aren't easily bored.
No chance in your company. But now that we've blown each other, what's up?
You're on a need-to-know basis. So, this particular mission don't require you to have no gun. Just a wetsuit.
Gotta say, I am intrigued. Why the wetsuit?
Can't back out now. Just gonna have to use your imagination.
You really know how to reel me in, don't you?
Ain't seen nothing yet.
Alright then, count me in. But I gotta warn you, I look great in a wetsuit.
Damn out past Rancho Coronado. Know it?
Sure, what about it?
Little, abandoned bungalow lakeside. Meet me there. At sundown.
Okay. Is this a date?
You're not my type, Holmes. Just show up. I'll see you there.
She's right. I'm not her type. I've got way too much penis and not nearly enough titty. However, as I've already said, this is not my only playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077, and I have done a playthrough with a female character. So we're going to switch that.
V, looking good.
You mean, considering the shit we've been through?
Well, factor that in and you look fucking amazing.
So what's the latest from Clouds? Know anything?
Nothing of any interest. Got a new situation. And everybody's trying to adapt. Me too.
Doesn't sound like it's all okay.
Doesn't mean it isn't.
Any news from the Moxers? Events? Ideas?
Don't know. Don't see all that much of them.
How come?
You know how they are. Piss me off sometimes is all.
Something got you down all of a sudden?
No.
Judy?
Can we please not talk about clouds, the Mox, or Arasaka and Militech and how the world's going to shit? Just rather not think about any of that today. Anything dark.
So, ready to tell me what we're doing here?
Well, been tinkering with virtues a lot lately and figured out a way to scroll 2 actors' experiences at the same time. Thought we could try it out. If you're down, of course.
Sounds like we could do this anywhere. Why did we come all the way out here? What is this place?
Cottage belonged to someone I knew. It sits empty now. I take the liberty to use it from time to time.
And that's where we're gonna scroll?
No, we're gonna scroll underwater.
Nope, no way. Bad idea. Tell her to find some other yes woman.
What do you say? You in?
Hell yeah, I'm in.
Awesome. So, let's go. Got the hardware here.
Basically what Judy's done here is figure out a way to have 2 people simultaneously recording a brain dance while at the same time experiencing what the other person is feeling.
Alright, get that booty of yours suited up.
Do this often?
What? Make other girls... Let's get this scroller on ya.
Meant diving.
As often as I can. As for the rest, well... I'm picky about my girls.
Look pretty damn fine in that wetsuit.
You should see me in my Max Tech uniform.
Whoa. And you have one?
Indeed I do. Won it in a bet. Still hangs in my closet, waiting for the right occasion.
Huh. I'm gonna hold you to that. Alright, let's do this. Whew, freezing ass water, here I come.
And so before too long...
Down we go.
Impressive, huh?
That's incredible. What is it?
Our very own Atlantis. Used to be called Laguna Bend. Just 15 years ago, people still lived here.
Got some connection to this place, right?
You got it. Grew up here. Haven't been back since Laguna Bend was wiped off the map.
Why are you showing me this?
It's important to me. Got a feeling this will be perfect for my experiment.
Why does this stand to be perfect?
Hoping you'll be able to pick up all the unfiltered mess of emotions this place brings out in me. Like it or not, you'll react to those feelings. That's what I want to capture.
Sounds Nova. Let's do this.
Played this moment coming back so many times in my head. Taken me years. Working up the nerve for this.
Why didn't you come earlier?
Good question. Easy answer would be that I didn't have time, gear, stars weren't ever aligned. Truth is, the very idea, it just felt weird. Besides, didn't want to come here alone. Or with some rando. Flo's Diner, best eatery in town? Only one at that, too. Burgers weren't amazing, too greasy. Big. Of course, I say that now. Back then, they were the best thing I'd ever chewed and swallowed. And next door, that's where we lived. Me and my grandparents. Just let me know when you want to forge ahead.
There are various different mementos from Judy's childhood that you can see here.
Looks like this fell off your one and only eatery.
Now let's see. Childhood for you tasted like sushi with real rice. Used to stuff a few in your mouth at once and pretend you were a giant.
Bigger family gatherings were great. That's where we even got real fish. Liked scent fish more, though. Real fish was just too stinky. Weird place for a framed picture.
Water probably carried it out of someone's house. Anything to make out?
No, not much.
Like I said, there are all kinds of different callbacks to Judy's childhood that you can find in this flooded town. But in the interests of moving the story along...
Want to see what's further on?
Come on then, want to show you something. Got no idea how weird it feels, swimming through here.
Where you used to run as a kid. Where daily life grinded along. Can imagine it a bit.
Church hasn't aged at all. Always looked old and like it had landed here from outer space. Bells were cracked too. Gave off this eerie, atonal clang. Weird, I had no memory of that seconds ago. Now I can almost hear them.
Don't know how it's possible, but I think I hear those bells too.
Seriously? You can hear my memories? Must be a side effect. Ah, closed. Shame.
Could look for another way inside.
Be my guest.
You like going to this church?
Never actually went to church. Never even really paid attention to it. It was just there, you know? Once we knew Laguna Bend was to be flooded, people gathered here to plan a protest.
Did it achieve anything?
Look around.
Found an opening. Think we're safe to go through here.
On my way. Snuck in here once when no one was around. Stood at the altar and tried to imagine what went through the padre's mind looking at all those people. Back then I wondered how he could read people's thoughts and know everything about them. Then I screamed at the top of my lungs to check the acoustics.
Reading you worse and worse.
Huh? I read you loud and clear. Everything all right?
Should have listened to Johnny.
V, please! Oh, thank fuck. You're alive. How'd you manage to lift me out?
Dunno, didn't think about it. Just did what I had to do. Hey, careful, easy now.
So, you're saying you saved my life. Thank you.
Told you diving into this toxic waste was gonna end badly. But you just don't fucking listen.
Toxic waste. Is that your construct?
You? Heard him?
Heard's overstating. It's just surfaced in my head. A thought that wasn't mine or completely yours.
Please just ignore his babbling. It's a complicated relationship.
Why do I even bother?
Doubt you should go back to the city just now. I'm pretty beat too. Last thing I want to do is drive. Let's stay the night. What do you think?
I think you want to get into my knickers.
Why the hell not? Whose cottage is that then? You said you knew the owner.
One of our neighbors was hell-bent on staying in Laguna Bend. Badges literally dragged him out of his house before the water came in. So he built himself another house as close as he possibly could, but then he got sick. Water was way more toxic back then. Must be chilled to the bone. I'll brew a pot. How do you take yours?
Black, please.
Like the heart of a merc. Ah, forgot to start the generator.
Well, I did nearly die, but I guess I'll go and do it.
I could turn it on.
You're gonna take it easy.
Promise to take it slow. What an incredible dive. Doesn't get more relaxing than that.
Speaking of harm's way, you know what I see within walking, talking corpses.
Wait, that's Evelyn's memory.
Power's up.
You go that route to the city, so be careful.
Shit.
What was that? Couldn't hear you clearly. Something the matter?
No, nothing.
You thinking about Evelyn?
Clouds has gone to shit. Tiger Claw No Next took revenge for Hiromi and the rest. There was a firefight. Tom's dead. Roxanne barely got out alive. House is closed until further notice. I'd rather not talk or think about it. I didn't want to tell you. Wanted this to be just our day. I want it.
It is ours.
The circumstances could have been better. I mean, I feel bad for Tom. And it turns out Maiko was right. But playing a female character and making the right conversation choices is the only way you're going to get a romance option with Judy Alvarez. This could have been more than a little cringy, but it is handled pretty well. Of course, it does mean that there's absolutely no way I'm going to get to monetize this video. So enjoy it, because I'm doing this one for free. those of you who can remember that far back, cast your minds back to the first computer game character that people actually thought was something of a sex symbol. Lara Croft in the first Tomb Raider game. A character who was constructed out of around about 8 polygons. It's amazing how far things have come.
Will you sit with me a while? Here's your coffee.
Morning.
Finally. So, yesterday. What was that exactly?
Don't remember, or you want me to remind you?
You know exactly what I'm trying to say. What did it mean? Like, to you?
I mean, I hope it was the beginning of something nice. Unless you see things differently.
Ugh. You can be such a gonk sometimes. Ruined my plans, you know that? Was gonna leave Night City in the dust, for good. Even started packing. But now, I think I gotta stay.
And yes, unless you choose this option, Judy will leave the game at this point.
Why'd you want to leave?
You know, everything that happened. Guess it just got to me. But now, from where I stand, Night City started to feel like the place to be. Give me your hand, V. All set. Congrats. Just gave you unlimited access to my pad.
Whoa. Asking me to move in?
If it's what you want. Or just drop by when the urge grabs you.
You sure? Isn't exactly a small thing, miss.
I like you. Want to see you lots. The way I see it, there isn't anything else to consider.
Wanna go there now?
You can if you want. Gonna stick around for a bit before I head back.
See ya, Judy.
If you handle this any differently, or if you're just a male character, then this is the last that you're going to see of Judy Alvarez. She packs her bags, says goodbye, and moves to live with her grandparents in Oregon. In most cases, providing you haven't been a complete dick to her, she does give you access to her apartment. The only difference is whether or not she's still going to be living in it. And from this point on, she will not be living in that apartment with you, unless you play a female character. You pursue the romance option with Judy, and you tell her that you think you'd like to get serious. No matter which way you've gotten here, however, this is pretty much it for the character of Judy Alvarez. If she leaves, she'll send you the occasional postcard from Oregon, where she does seem to be doing quite well. If she stays, aside from the occasional drunken text that she sends you when she's out clubbing with the girls from Lizzie's, there's only one other real encounter that you're going to have with Judy. And that'll happen at some point if you head back to her apartment while she's still there.
I was just thinking of you. And before you ask, no, you weren't wearing clothes. Oh, before I forget, some lady called me, Elizabeth something, said she had a job for someone with an eye for virtues. Told her to drop you a line.
Ugh, what a dumpster fire of a case.
You managed to crack it?
In a manner of speaking.
What else is going on besides that?
You know, same old. Rather hear what you've been up to. If I wasn't always on the move, you and I could spend more time together. Enjoy life.
Quality over quantity, V. Just focus on tying up all your loose ends. Then you and I are leaving this city once and for all.
Try to. Helps to keep it at the back of my mind.
Guarantee it does. People already say I've got a bounce in my step.
Let's talk for a little while longer. Before I have to Delta somewhere.
For you, I've got all day.
What's new at the Mox?
Susie isn't giving me the time of day, as usual.
Couldn't you replace Susie and lead the Mox?
No way in hell. I'll stick with tuning virtues, thank you very much. If you haven't
Yeah, it
noticed,
is basically just girl talk and gossip, but it's nice that they've included Judy in some form in the rest of the game once you've concluded the Judy Alvarez storyline. Because we have concluded the Judy Alvarez storyline. She did mention, though, that some woman called her asking to be put in touch with someone who dealt in brain dancers. And that's going to be the subject of the next video, where things do not go very smoothly from the very start. But as far as Judy Alvarez is concerned, that is pretty much it, with the exception of a couple of text messages that she usually sends you at extremely inopportune moments. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you're all having a great weekend, and as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.
But you see it differently. For you, it's